On March 23rd, industry experts came together in Frankfurt across performance and health, tactics and coaching and scouting. We sat down with the people driving the game forward.
Hi everyone, I'm Tilman. I work as a sports scientist at Catapult. I'm mainly working on the ground with our clients in DACH, meaning Germany, Austria, Switzerland, parts of Hungary. I'm mainly involved in European football. That's the main base of our clients here. So yeah, that's my background. Together with Gordon, I'm hosting the Purge workshop in the afternoon. On how to use weight room data to plan, to train, and to evaluate our training, which is a practical session where we're going to dive into a lot of the applied bit to show you guys how easy it can be to actually get more in the weight room, that it doesn't need a lot of, I would say a lot of manual labor. That's actually quite easy once you understand what velocity-based training, what this technology can do. And once you convert it into the questions that you have, that it's actually quite easy and simple to manage in a daily setting. Competitive advantage, I think we've seen it before already, and I think it's going to get an even bigger topic, is to not just be able to recruit the most expensive players. Of course, that always helps, but I think it's mainly around how to organize your team, how to create the roles in your team and have players that can actually fulfill these roles, which is then a mix of obviously technical abilities, of scouting, but also of physical profiles, that it's less about the things that, it's less about just the sheer ability of each individual, but how people can perform collaboratively and how they combine each of their strengths and weaknesses to get the best team output in the long run. I think in my role as a sports scientist, also coming mainly from a strength and conditioning point of view, intuition, I think, is still very important on the cognitive side of things. So we can track all the physical output, right? Meters, sprint meters, etc. We can measure heart rate responses. But the thing that that plays a big role in performance is actually the mental side of it, is how fast players can react to certain situations, which solutions they see on the pitch and how they can react. When they are fresh, but then also when they are fatigued, right? So that's one way where intuition and like a coach's eye is still very important. I think nevertheless, there are certain areas in a way where I feel like oftentimes people still base their decisions on intuition, where it is actually possible to have more concrete, clear outcome in a way, where you can say, yes or no, basically. If you use more statistics in your daily settings, right? If you're not just looking at graphs and you see, let's compare group A to group B, and there might be something visually where you see a difference. It's actually, if you use the right statistics and statistical tools, you're able to say, hey, there's very, very likely there's a difference in these groups, or they're very, very likely the same, so we shouldn't bother. So once you go from just collecting all the data towards a more refined analysis of the data with statistics, with sports science, you're actually able to not just get more insights, but at the same time also cut out a lot of noise, because now you know that it's actually not important. So that's a fine balance of, just going a step further in the analysis to then actually be more certain in the end. I think one of the differentiators and something that's very fast evolving at the very minute is the ability to combine different data sources. So we as Catapult are already trying our best to have data sources be connected with each other, but it's the main challenge that teams face, because you don't want to spend as little time as possible working on the data, and you want to be as quickly as possible, want to see everything that actually matters to make a decision and then talk to the players and do your, I would say, actual work. So the faster you can get there, the better. This will actually separate the teams, and with the help, especially of the new technology with AI, people have been going a lot more into scripting, into databasing, into technical things that they couldn't do before, that now they have this help. They're actually able to set these things up. And the progress that we've seen over the last months and years since this has been around is already astonishing. So if you're able to actually manage all these different data sources, bring them together, that with one click you can just see everything that matters for the athlete, I think that's going to be a non-negotiable for both ambitious teams and also the teams that are already at the top.